Okay, we're going to do just a small video on the alignment and assembly of joints. So hopping over to Fusion 360, what I've done is I've just created two parts. We're going to create joints between them. Not important what they are, just as long as it makes sense that you would assemble them together. In my case, I just created a center point rectangle for this bottom piece I'm calling the base, and then I did the same thing for this side. I made them roughly the same dimensions, and we're going to assemble them in the corner. Now, one thing to remember is when we are working with joints, it is important that you've grounded one of the pieces. If neither of the pieces are grounded, it gets very problematic for the system to make sense of what's going on. So what we're going to do is we are going to, before we get into adding a joint, we are going to right click on the base. And if I try to right click on the base in the picture, it gives me this menu. So it doesn't show me ground. But if I'm still clicked up here, top level, and right click on the description of base, click off here, right click on base, it's going to show me this ground option. So if I hit ground, then that's going to effectively make it where that doesn't move. And then when we create the joints, this other part's going to move to it, etc. Right? So it should bring back some memories for when you assembled the selfie stick that you had one of the pieces that was grounded. Now we're going to go assemble and join. So I can get to there from the toolbar and click joint, or I can hit assembly, down, joint. Now bring up this option here. So have some things I can do. If I come in here and I choose the first, now remember that it's going to create a joint based upon what it's showing you for this, I've heard it called a chip. So if I'm looking at this chip that's described here, it's showing red, which in our case, if I look at the view cube, it's going to say that that's the x-axis. Green's the y-axis going up, and Z is going to the left and out of the picture. So the joint, as it's being created, is showing the same orientation as the view cube is currently in position for. Okay, so if I click there, then I'm going to go down to option 2, and I'm going to look down here. Now see how, depending on how I arrive at that joint, I can actually get it to do different orientations. So if I'm in this position here, blue, instead of going to the left, is actually going to the right. So I want to make sure that the orientation is the same as the orientation is in the part, if that's the orientation that I want these things to be joined in. It's basically going to join them together in that orientation. So for example, this is going to mess up. So the blue, instead of being out to the left, is out to the right. So if I go ahead and click yep, then it's going to do this. So it's not going to do it in the proper orientation. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. And then I'm going to redo symbol. I'm going to check join again. I'm going to pick here where it's in the same orientation as the view cube. Y is up, X is to the right, Z is out. And then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to do the same. Red is to the right, Z is to the left, green is up, and it's going to locate that in the right orientation. So when I put that in place, I can do all kinds of things, right? I can offset it. I can offset in the X. So let's say I wanted to leave just a small seam to the right, right? So if I look at offset X and I wanted to move it off that, I could say negative. So I want to make it a negative, let's just say 0.1 inches. And that would offset it so I could leave whatever ledge or edge that I wanted to. Okay, so as you play with these positions, you can change that. So I could change the X position, the Y position, the Z position from an offset however I want to. I can also change the angle. So if I change this guy here, I can change that as well. So even when I create the joint, I have some options. In addition, I can change the type of joint. Our assumption is we want it rigid. That's what's built kind of in the first place. Okay. If I choose others, remember, revolute is it rotates around a joint origin. Slider is it's going to slide it along. Cylindrical goes around and then also slides. Pin and slot rotates and slides a component on two different axes. planar is basically going to move it about a face, and then you finally have a ball joint, which allows it to rotate around a center point. Okay, so if you wanted to preview these, let's say slider, you could change it. So in this case, it's showing it sliding along the z-axis. Let's say we wanted to change that and make it slide along the x-axis, right? And in the same way, I can also set minimums and I can set maximums in order to have it go in the range of motion that we want to. So right now we're having it slide. It's sliding along the z-axis. Let's say that this is as far out as we wanted it to go, but then we wanted it to go, let's see here. Let's see if it actually goes what we want to. Yep. So now we've set those, we could do a slider and limit the minimum and maximum. Okay. You can also set the rest position where it goes back to as a default. So what I want you to see, or what I want you to create is that base. I want you to create the side. I want you to create the joint as we've prescribed it. And then I want you to create this slider mechanism with it sliding along the x-axis and roughly these min and max. So you should have on your screen something that looks mostly like what I have. It can be different, but I just want to know that you kind of went through the exercise. So that kind of hopefully brings back some of those memories about that selfie stick assembly that we created.